make sure we're recording. Yes, we are recording. Yeah, so...
Why?
Well, it's season 3.
So?
Wow, it's been that long.
Well, do people actually listen to us?
Actually, I think they do.
Yes.
We have a bit of a following, but it would be nice if we could actually get a graphic artist so we could get some merchandise put together.
We will put out a plug today.
Yes, okay. Well, I think we just did.
Yes, we did.
We jumped up to 68 followers.
Nice.
And probably those a lot of AI sex bots, but whatever. We'll take anything we can get our hands on.
Mike, will you stop putting this on OnlyFans?
Hey.
Hey.
I got a lot of respect for the people on OnlyFans. No.
Me too.
So let's just be clear here. It's a lot of hard work to run your own business. Mm-hmm. Like we'd know. Listen, it's great to be back with you guys. I haven't seen you guys in a while, so let's get everything rolling. And so welcome, everyone, back to Season 3 of the Dragoons Lair podcast. That's right. We are finally back in your lives. I am Daniel the Dragon, the Blue Dragoon himself. And with me once again is King Hamster Pellet himself, Mike Schiavo.
What is shaking, people?
And the family man, James Haynes.
What's up?
Yeah, we're not doing that. So it's been about a month since we've recorded. So, so I almost got locked out of the system, so we weren't able to record.
I almost got locked up.
Yeah. That would be another issue, but not this time around.
We'll discuss it later date.
Yeah. No, so, Mike, how was your productions that underwent during the break?
Pretty good. We just ended a run of the Pink Panthers Strikes Again at the Little Victory Theater. Decent houses all weekend for the 2 weeks that we ran it.
No clicking.
Clicky. It was good.
There's your fidget spinner.
Anyway, we had good runs. Bit of a bombshell dropped on us that the owner will be closing the theater.
Damn.
And after the December show, so we're like, what the hell? I mean, that was like out of left field.
Well, I guess it must be a little expensive to try to keep a small theater going.
Yeah, she said that like before the pandemic hit, we were selling out, and we had like people. We literally had to turn people away. So we literally can't fit any more people in here. And then afterwards, the rent kept going up.
Yep.
The insurance kept going up. We weren't getting as big of a crowd as we used to, and the woman's pushing 70, and she's like, "Okay, I had enough. Time to go do other things."
Well, it's a sad thing when business has to close down, but well, you got a few more months in, so
yeah. They're doing at the time of this recording, it's night 2 of auditions for Dial M for Murder. That's going to be their next big production. Unfortunately, I can't be in it because I'm going to Chiller for one of the day that they're performing.
Nice. I haven't looked to see the list for Chiller yet, but
it's like expanding like every day. They're adding new people.
Yeah, that's the thing with all the conventions coming up. Now,
I'm more excited going to Chiller than I am going to Comic-Con. There's more people at Chiller I want to see than Comic-Con.
Well, that's actually not surprising. Chiller usually has a good turnout. Comic-Con's become very, how would I put it?
Overrated.
Yeah. There's a lot of hype behind it, which is why at the time of this recording, I will be on my way to Anime NYC for the weekend. So while this drops, I will be there. And hopefully I'll have seen a bunch of people, maybe get some people who are interested in the show. They'll be willing to come up and say hi, but we'll see how that one all plays out.
This is just some of the people for Chiller. We got Mickey Rourke.
Okay.
Tommy Chong.
Okay.
Kendra Wilkinson. Mariel Hemingway.
Ariel Hemingway?
No,
Mariel.
I don't.
Superman 4.
Oh, okay.
We got Bam Margarito. Whatever the hell the guy. Margera.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully he's sober.
Yeah. From
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. What's left of him? Fingers, not Bam. From Charlie's Angels, we have Kate Jackson.
Nice.
Okay.
We have the Frog Brothers from The Lost Boys.
So,
Corey Feldman and Jameson Newlander.
James Newlander and Feldman.
Yep. We have Biff Griff and Mad Dog himself, Mr. Tom Wilson.
Nice. I've gotten to meet him before at Chiller.
We have Deidre Hall. We have Vicki Lawrence from
Oh, nice.
Mama family. We have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We have Ernie Reyes, James Sato, Ken Scott, who was Raphael, the guy in the suit of Raphael, I believe. Brian Tachi, who was in the suit of Leonardo.
Yeah.
And Kevin Clash, he was Splinter.
Well, you also, if you figure Feldman's going to be there, Feldman was the voice of Donatello.
Yeah, Donatello. We have Mir Sorvino.
Oh, nice.
Amy Yasserbach.
Cool.
Okay.
Again, he's there every day. It's Chuck Zito. Barry Zito's brother, Chuck.
Yeah.
Eric Roberts.
Oh, God.
Daniel Rudy Rudiger is going to be there.
Who in the hell?
Rudy.
The real Rudy?
The real Rudy.
Oh, okay.
Real Rudy.
I'd rather Sean Astin, but okay.
I take
Gotta take what you can get.
Yeah.
That's about it on the big names. We have the Japanese people coming back is Kashi, the guy
from the Godzilla franchise.
Godzilla franchise. I am not even going to attempt to butcher this man's name.
Yeah, don't.
No. Sean Kane from Mike Barnes from Karate Kid is going to be there.
Oh, nice.
He's been
from
on
Cobra Kai.
And
Yeah.
Cobra Kai, yes. Cynthia Rothrock for the 80s kickboxing fans.
Yep.
Billy Blanks.
Billy Blanks, little Tybo.
Tybo guy. Yeah.
Yep.
What's his name? Bob Gunton, the man who did the motion capture for Egon in Afterlife.
Oh, nice.
And he was Family Guy, Ace Ventura, 24, Star Trek, Shawshank Redemption, Glory.
Yeah. So we definitely got that one's going to be packed.
Yeah, it's going to be, dude. And those are just the names people would know.
Yeah.
There's like a ton
Hopefully
of
that they would know, because even I got a little confused on some of them.
No, some of them, there were a few other people that I want to see that were there.
Okay.
Lower list, because I'm a Jaws fan, and they have a couple of people from Jaws 2 who's going to be there. And I'm like, oh, okay, I want to go see that person. But
All right.
I saw, for MonsterCon and King of Prussia, Andy Serkis, William Shatner, and Peter Criss are going to be there. Chris is going to be there Friday and Saturday. Serkis is going to be there Saturday and Sunday. And they've already put prices and everything down for autographs and tickets.
Yeah.
good luck getting Circus. Oh, the other guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just saw a video from Eris Quiones on TikTok where he was talking about how much Mark Hamill's autographs go for. Starting at $400 for an 8x10, $500, and then $700 for bulky, which I didn't understand what that is.
First time I met him at Comic-Con.
Yep.
I think I spent $90
Yeah.
for a picture and an autograph at his table.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had to buy the ticket ahead of time, or maybe even $100, but I had to get the ticket before I can even walk up to him. So I'm like, oh yeah, very cool, And I was there. I went as Batman, totally forgetting that he did the Joker. I'm just walking up there, Luke Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, Luke Skywalker. And we have a picture where he's just like looking at me, pointing. He's like, And I'm like, it looks Skywalker. Totally forgetting
He was the Joker.
Totally forgetting I was just the Batman. Totally forgetting he was the Joker. I was just like, he looks Skywalker.
Yeah. Well, there's actually now 2 different versions of the part 3 for Crisis on Infinite Earth.
No.
Because they have a placeholder voice for Mark Hamill.
Really?
Yeah. So the scene with Kevin Conroy, there's a placeholder voice for people who went and got it a little too early, and the official one is back on for when it comes out on DVD and everything. It's Mark Hamill as the Joker.
I have the Blu-ray one, so I probably have the Mark Hamill
for
version.
part 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll have it with Mark Hamill, but there's the early release. The digital ones didn't have a full complete, so there was a placeholder voice.
I
Not
honestly,
really Mark Hamill, but
it sounded enough like him. You're watching it for Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, exactly. Even though we know, basically now Mark Hamill has
Retired,
finished his run as the Joker. So it's going to be an interesting time because now we're in convention season full blast.
Yeah. Yep.
Comic-Con is coming up, but I'll be at Anime NYC. You're going to Chiller. Jimmy, you got a convention that you're going to be heading off to?
I don't know yet. I'm just hoping. I know it's not going to be Comic-Con. Maybe.
Yeah.
Check around.
Comic-Con is probably one of the more expensive ones. Mm-hmm. I think when they had some of the Doctor Who people, I saw price listing for like $600-700 just for the photo op. And I think that was for David Tennant and Billy Piper. But David Tennant and Billy Piper are kind of worth it. I would probably spend that kind of money.
Andy Serkis was $90.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad considering it's Andy Serkis, what he's done.
Oh, yeah.
When you were getting back to Hamill, Hamill was $90.
More or less.
We went over to Halloran and Jason Mewes, free, no price, $99, and it only cost us $20 for Peter Mayhew.
Yeah.
I got a photo and an autograph.
Yeah, the pricing at conventions has changed a lot because it used to be like when I started going in the early 2000s, they were only charging usually about $20-25.
Yeah.
It was weird if you got like a $40 one.
Yeah.
Now it's all gone up, and I can understand like the cost of like even just printing up all those headshots has gone up. So, and the demand of even being at the conventions.
Yep.
Not being there as someone signing, but as being there as a fan trying to meet people. That's where you're standing on lines for hours. It takes its toll. And then there's always the chance, especially nowadays, where con flu may not actually be con flu. Yeah. So, when you don't feel too well right after the con, I highly suggest taking a shot of some hard liquor and killing any bacteria in your throat.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's a nice precautionary method.
If you're going to go to Comic-Con, you need
as long as you're over 21.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do not promote underage drinking.
No, we do not.
Don't discourage it, but we don't approve it.
Nope.
Our parents.
Let's be serious. Come on.
Our parents and grandparents didn't really do much to stop us.
No.
So
we don't encourage it, but then again, if you're going to do it, be smart about it.
Be responsible and be of legal age, and that is our disclaimer.
Don't get caught.
That is not part of our disclaimer.
My disclaimer. Anyway, if you're going to go to Comic-Con, I've said this before, you need at least 3 days. If you hit the floor for one day for all the autographs, you want to walk around, see what they got, you want to go to the panels, that's another day.
Yeah.
You're going to drop over $1,000 easy.
And depending on whose autograph you want,
maybe $1,000 just for one autograph.
Exactly.
If you see all the limited edition stuff, you go that Thursday.
Yeah.
That's the main day. This way you get in and out. You got your stuff. Boom.
A lot of it is, I mean, like the big names, I really won't even go towards because I'm not dropping that much money.
Well, it all depends on who it is and rarity. Like when I went to Chiller and they had Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart was $120 just for his autograph. And you had to do a separate photo shoot if you wanted to take a photo with him. Yeah. That one was going to be dropping even more money, so I only got the autograph photo.
Right.
I would have rather had met him, but they also had signs up everywhere. It's cold and flu season. Do not try to shake the actor's hands. I was like, wow.
Well, you remember what happened last time we went to Chiller?
Oh yeah.
Yep. And you want to tell them? Want to remind the people what was said there? By Mr. Marklin Baker, do you want to remind him?
No. No, I do not.
I'll do it.
Okay, Balky.
No. Even he looked. We went to.
And I disagree with him still.
This man worked with him for years. I take what he says at face value.
If you have an opinion on if Mike is Balky or not, please email us at
dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com.
Last year, me, Danny, Henry, and Lynn, we went to Chiller with one purpose in mind, to meet Mr. Marklin Baker and finally put this debate to bed, if I look like Bronson Pinchot or not. We walked up, we paid the money, we walked up, got our picture taken with him, and we said,
You mean I paid because you were too chicken shit to actually even say anything to him.
Anyway, we were like, do I look like Bronson Pinchot? And he looks me up and down, and at first we can tell he didn't know what to say, yes or no. And I was like, just, do I look like him? And he goes, no. So I was like, right then and there, point blank from the man himself, I do not look like Bronson Pinchot. I am putting Balky to bed. Thank you.
You can put it to bed, but I'm never letting you turn off the light.
Oh, I'll break the fucking thing.
No, so we've got the convention season coming up. Now, I want to talk about a couple of news stories before we go over anything else. You don't know if you heard or not, but the Acolyte will not be returning for season 2.
I heard that.
Kind of figured that.
It was a little disjointed in my opinion. It kind of went all over the place, and I really wish they would have just gone back and done Knights of the Old Republic. Just take the old game and tell that story as an actual movie, like as a series, and I think we would have been good with that. But I don't think any of us here really didn't have an expectation that was getting canceled.
This just in from racing in Paris. A Galapagos turtle has just beaten the Acolyte. That's how slow that show was.
Wow. I think you just...
Yeah, you stretched on that one there.
Yeah, that one was a little bit of a stretch. But yeah, no. Yeah. The Acolyte, it wasn't a terrible show, but there was no real consistency.
I felt it just moved too damn slow.
The pacing really was off. And as a Star Wars fan, it's something that it's like, I can forgive a lot of things, but when you don't have good pacing, you're really like killing it all on your own. So, and while we were gone, we got the announcement. We got Robert Downey Jr. will be returning to the MCU with the Russo brothers to play Dr. Doom.
Why?
Well, it's a variant of Dr. Doom.
That's what I'm trying
It's not why, it's wow.
Yeah.
The amount of money that Marvel threw to get Robert Downey Jr. back.
How much?
100 million.
100 million.
Per movie.
Yup.
That's 2 movies. And he requested the Russo brothers. I think they're getting 80 million.
Yup.
And the thing is that when you look at it, it's supposed to be a variant. So I'm okay with it being a variant as long as they can also get Chris Evans back as a variant for Captain Hydra.
Yeah.
I think
that would be kind of cool because it looks like they're trying to set up almost Battle World.
With Secret Wars, that would work.
I mean...
And there is a comic where Dr. Doom and...
was obsessed with Tony Stark.
No, they actually switched places. Yeah. Doom actually switched bodies with him.
I just seen the comic of that. That's how scary it is, too.
Well, that was going to start popping up again once they made this announcement. So,
and it actually just did.
I mean... The initial reactions have been mixed, and we've had some time to sit on it. So, Mike, what did you think? We'll start off with you about the announcement for Robert Downey Jr. coming back to play Dr. Doom.
Like everybody else, when I first heard about it, I went, holy shit.
Yep.
I'm going to go into it like going into anything else. I want to see what they do. I mean, Marvel has a track record, film-wise, of putting out good films. Putting out films that make you scratch your head and going, okay, I didn't see that one coming, but...
Well, phase 1 through 3.
1 through 3, but...
4 was a little disjointed, but it looks like they're trying to fix that.
But like I said, they have, everything has a bump in the road, and that was phase 4, so... We'll give them a chance. I think they kind of scrambled a little bit with this whole Jonathan Majors thing.
Yeah.
Would have liked to see the King Dynasty play out. Maybe down the road they can say, oh, he's a King variant somewhere. If they want to recast him, you can always do the variant role. I've just seen, the reveal a million times like everybody else. I want to see how they do it. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say, okay, you know what? You've proven yourself. You've earned the trust of people. Let's see what you do. You know, so I'm not going in with, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. I'm not going into it, oh my God, this is going to suck. I'm going into it, okay, you know what? I'm going to pay my $70, $80 to get myself a ticket, whatever it costs.
Nowadays to go to the theater.
Nowadays to go to the theater. And you know what? I'm going to strap in for a 2.5-hour ride and enjoy the view.
Okay. Jimmy, what about you?
Well, if this is their plea and apology to resurrect everybody that was heroed out since Secret Invasion, good job, kudos to you. and everything.
Secret Invasion, I think you're probably meaning after Infinity War and Endgame.
Well, yeah, but
Because right after we got Spider-Man No Way Home,
No Way Home,
that was when it seemed to be that everyone started hitting a little bit of a burnout.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not burnt out from superhero movies, but at the same time, we were getting them fast and heavy.
Yeah.
Well, because thanks to COVID and everything also, they accelerated everything.
Well, with COVID, the problem was, too, it also delayed some of the stuff that should have came out because...
A lot of stuff got delayed with that. A lot of stuff got delayed with the Screen and Writers Guild strikes.
Yeah.
Which hurt everything. But my thing is, listen, all right, I'll give him a little bit of benefit, but I will tell you one thing. If I don't like what I see, I will go get James Gunn.
No, you won't.
I will go get James Gunn a Gallant Fabuloso, a mop, and be like, go to town with Superman because I have faith in it. I have faith in it.
So you're basically saying you switch over to DC.
I think he is going to resurrect to a point.
I'm just trying to figure out the mop and the Fabuloso.
He's going to wipe the floor with them.
Okay.
I think he'll wipe
That's
my thing.
Yeah, Jimmy, that one was a little roundabout of a stretch. Like even I got to agree with Mike on that one. And it's very rare when I actually agree with him.
We'll play the lottery tonight.
Yeah, I know, right? It's only 20 mil for Powerball, so.
I mean, and I'm waiting to see Creature Commandos and everything.
Okay.
So, but Creature Commandos.
Yeah, the one of the DC animated.
In December.
Yeah.
You know what?
DC's got a good animated track record.
Yes, they have. I mean, I was a little disappointed with the Crisis films. Not what I expected. But...
Well, you were expecting something completely different.
I was expecting something a little bit closer to the comic book. I was hoping you would at least see the Anti-Monitor. Well,
you know what? We'll discuss a little more of that when we get to one of our other topics. But, and so my opinion, though, when it comes to Robert Downey Jr., I'm excited that he's back. I'm apprehensive about Dr. Doom because they have not done him right ever since, like, the Fantastic Four. Corman was actually somewhat closer, at least costume-wise. Everything else, though, the portrayals of... It hasn't been outside of the animated stuff that it's just... And Dr. Doom is one of my favorite villains.
There's a lot to do with Doom.
And I'm very concerned when it comes to Dr. Doom because... As a villain, he's like one of those villains that I hold close to my chest as like he's on my top list of villains because he's got good reasons for things. He actually follows through. Yeah. And the diplomatic immunity just makes it even funnier.
There's actually, I was watching something on Doom the other day and they were like, everybody else was trying to fight this creature and everyone's getting their asses kicked.
Yep.
And Doom goes, well, I guess I'll have to do it. And then, he steps begrudgingly steps into the role of the hero to save the world because if the world blows up, Lavaria blows up too.
Latvia.
Yeah. And he's like, fuck it, I'll do it. You guys, because he has that little bit of Lex Luthor swagger to him where he's like, fuck you, you're an idiot, I'm going to go, it's up to me. You're an asshole, watch how it's done.
Well, that's the thing. You figure he is one of the smartest people in the entire MCU. And putting him up there with Reed Richards, and it's one of those things where I'm interested to see because we got like the Fantastic Four announcement, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to. I just saw the trailer's been dropping because for I believe August 23rd, you can get your tickets for The Crow with Skarsgård, and I am not looking forward to that at all.
I'll give that a shot.
Why aren't you looking forward to it?
You know what? The look, the feel, it feels out of place. And ever since the original Crow movie with Brandon Lee, they have not done a good Crow movie. The Crow City of Angels tried, but it was still lacking because it was coming off of Brandon Lee's death, so they didn't want to use a lot of firearms on the set, which is understandable. Then when they did, what was it, Salvation, or was it Wicked Prayer? Salvation. The only thing I was happy to see was, them stitching some people's mouths shut. Yeah. But otherwise, I wasn't really a huge fan of that one. And what was it? Wicked Prayer was the fourth one. I like Eddie Furlong, but the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, the whole stuff that they were doing with David Boreanaz and Tara Reid, it felt so disjointed that I enjoyed them as like I can sit down, turn my brain off,
right.
But at the same time, it wasn't what I felt The Crow should be. The series, The Crow Stairway to Heaven,
that was good.
Was actually really good and felt closer to the tone of the movie and everything and expanded more on what the comic was. So it just makes it a little difficult for me. And looking at the look of how they're kind of doing it, I get it. It's like the trailers have been short, but it's one of those things where I'm like, they had lightning in a bottle once.
You can't.
I don't know if they can recapture it.
No. I'm really not looking forward to it, only because I feel I'm a fan of the first Crow. The man died on set.
Yep.
You leave it alone. That's his swan song, unfortunately. That is his swan song. You leave it alone. You want to make another Crow film? Don't do Eric Draven.
Yep.
You could do anybody else. Do not do Eric Draven. That is Brandon Lee's last film. You leave it.
And he did such a phenomenal job.
If he would have died off, like if the movie would have been completed, and then he would have, let's just say he died in an accident somehow, completely unrelated, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't on set.
It wasn't on set. Okay, you know, fine. Since he died on set, leave it alone. That, like I said, that is the man's swan song. You're not. Everybody who knows it is going to compare it, and even though it came out in '93, the original '94,
93, 94.
Yeah.
What was done there with lack of all the computer-generated effects?
Yeah, the early stages
made it look better.
Oh yeah,
all the CG and all the different angles with the cameras.
Yeah,
you keep. Sometimes simple is better.
Of course, and listen, I don't have anything against Skarsgård or anybody that's in this new movie.
Not knocking them.
It's hard to watch somebody else portray Eric Draven. I mean,
yes,
the character was. Mark Dacascos for the series came close,
yes.
But he still wasn't Brandon Lee.
No, he wasn't Brandon Lee, but I would put him number 2.
And I'm a Mark Dacascos fan.
Me too.
So it's one of those things where it's just it's a hard pill. It's a hard pill to swallow that they're even doing this. I was amazed that it finally even got off the ground and was filmed.
At one point, Bradley Cooper was attached to it.
Oh
he was
yeah,
supposed to play the Crow, and I was like, really?
No, it was. There were so many rumors, so many different things. So let's move on, though. And Mike, what do you got for AEW? Because we're just changing up the format, so we'll let everybody know. We're only going to be discussing instead, since we're bi-weekly and we're not going to be able to cover every event. We're only going to be covering the pay-per-views / PLE's premium live events. I don't know how people.
Pay-per-views. Don't even call them.
Exactly.
The pay-per-views.
Well, you're covering the pay-per-views. Yeah. Jimmy will be covering the PLEs. So we don't really. I don't think we have a PLE until we come back.
Yeah. No, but I can discuss SummerSlam. To a point.
It's a little late on that one.
Late, but it's somewhat of its. What's the word of its residue or its aftershock?
And the residue is good. You kind of
residue aftershock.
There was a couple of aftershock moments, but other than that, there's. But Mike, let's go with AEW. What's the upcoming pay-per-view?
At the time of
recording,
at the time when you watch this, it will be Sunday, and it will be All In London. Starting off in 0 Hour, we have Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii versus Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. I'm going with Ishii and Nightingale. In the opening, I just don't see Hathaway and Statlander going over. They have the Casino Gauntlet match. Don't know who's in it. That's pretty much their battle royal.
All right.
Okay, whoever wins gets a title shot. Kind of like the Money in the Bank, only they don't walk around with the briefcase.
It's more like the Royal Rumble.
Whoever wins it gets
a number shot. One title shot.
Yeah.
Well, with that already, entering at number 1 is Orange Cassidy. They had the fight last week.
Okay.
So Cassidy will be entering number 1.
Number 3 on the card is the London ladder match for the Trios title. You have the Bang Bang Gang versus the House of Black versus a mystery team versus the Patriarchy. I'm thinking the mystery team could be Death Triangle. Penta El Zero Negro, his brother, and Pac. I mean, a lot of people are saying Penta is going to WWE with his brother. Don't know.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
But
and they're fighting in 0 hour for that bid.
Right.
So
So
it's either for that or the tag team belts. I
that
think.
tag team belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going the Bang Bang Gang with the win.
Okay. What else you got?
We got the AEW Tag Team Champions. We have FTR versus the Acclaimed versus the Young Bucks, who are the champions. I see FTR getting the win. I see, and you're hearing it here, a heel turn for the Acclaimed.
Okay.
It's been pointing in that direction for a while. I see at All In, they do full heel. Now, whether Billy goes with them and becomes the heel with them, or they turn on Billy, I think if they turn on Billy, it'll cement them as a heel for a while, which I think is the way to go.
All right.
Number 5, you have the FTW Championship. We have Hook versus Jericho. I see Hook going over.
Okay.
And do not be surprised if you see Taz get into the mix somehow. Because he even said at one point, he goes, I might have one match left in me. He goes, but I got to get some things worked on first. And he was away for a little while getting his knees and back worked on.
Okay.
So I will not be surprised if you see Taz get in the mix somehow and
I hope so.
toss Jericho around a little bit.
Well, we'll see what happens on that one, on that end.
Number 6, we have the TNT Championship match, which is a coffin match between Darby Allin and the champion Jack Perry.
I'm sorry, just
Yeah, I know.
a coffin match is
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
It's if it's not Undertaker, why are you even
Right,
bothering with a
right.
coffin match?
I see Darby going over.
version.
As much as I'm not a huge Darby Allin fan, but I see Darby going over
Okay.
just to change things up because Jack had it for a while, so I think it's time to move things along. Number 7, this is going to be, I think, a 10-star match. MJF is for the AEW American Championship. MJF is the champion versus Will Ospreay.
Okay.
You're in Ospreay's hometown. He got the home crowd behind him. I think he's going to go over. I think Ospreay is going to leave with the belt.
Okay.
And it'll go back to being, what is it, the Continental or International?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this one can go either way.
All right.
You're going to have a lot of near falls in this one. I hope they do right by both men and just let them have the match and let it play out. Don't do any of this, interference and then coming back in and then rolling up.
Yeah.
Don't do that. These two men can go. Let them go.
All right.
Let them have their 10-star match and move on. TBS Championship match, Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné. I see Britt going over because she's coming back. Moné needs some work on the microphone. No doubt about it. She needs mic skills. So have Britt come back. I see her taking the belt because she's Britt. Everybody wants her back. And she had a little bit of clout going on. She had a little bit of heat going on backstage. So, yeah.
I got to disagree with you just on the point of saying that Mercedes Moné does not needs work on her mic skills.
A little bit. She needs a little work.
She's always been top notch on the mic. That's the thing. It's it all depends on what you're given to work with.
Right. Even when she was in WWE, I thought she needed a little work on the mic.
She's always been good on the mic. It's the same kind of feeling I have when I've had to try to read one of your scripts. You do the best you can with what you're given.
Anyway,
got to take the cheap shot when I can.
I wouldn't see.
and I don't believe reading anything you ever written. So there you go.
I won't be too.
I'm not the writer.
No shit. So
in that match, the return of Jamie Hayter
could be. She could be a.
Yeah.
Yep.
An unexpected
Miss
at the end.
Brickhouse-
Okay.
Since Miss Brickhouse,
Would you
has debuted-
speak into the microphone?
Oh, sorry. Since Miss Camille Brickhouse has debuted, it's actually been. If you actually read through the lines there, it's actually we need to bring Jamie Hayter back.
Well, if she's healthy enough, I can see her coming back.
She should.
All right. Is there any other matches?
Yes, we have the AEW's Women's Championship match. Mariah May versus Toni Storm, who's the champion. I see Mariah May going over. And I really hope she does, because I really hope they get rid of this timeless Toni Storm gimmick, because it is, in my opinion, stupid.
Okay. Well,
I just do not like it. She's like a 1920s movie star. No, I just don't like it. Anyway, And the main event, we have the final countdown, the title versus the career match. We have Swerve Strickland, the champion, versus Bryan Danielson. Everybody knows Danielson wants to retire. Everybody knows his contract is coming up.
I don't think he actually wants to retire. I think his body wants him to retire.
Body's telling him he even said, this is it. Once my contract's up, I'm done. And, he's been going on his farewell tour.
Yeah. But they all go on a farewell tour.
How many times did Kiss retire?
Yeah, well, all of a sudden, the next thing you know, you see him down in Mexico with Rey Mysterio doing the stem cell treatments, and then he's back in the ring.
I mean...
And Mysterio, for his age and the abuse he's taken, he still moves around like he's in his 20s. Well, so those treatments are helping.
Yeah. That tattoo that Mysterio has on his back, it's actually his spine. And when, he gets vertebrae fused together, he just goes in and gets part of it erased. So that's his spine. And he just like, Doc, just do it that way. And they put it on his back and erase this and put these guys together, and that's just gone. I see Swerve going over. I don't see them taking the title off of Strickland to give it to Danielson, who's going to retire soon anyway. It's going to be a great match. I see Swerve going over.
Okay.
And that's all, folks.
Well, at least for you for now.
For now.
Jimmy, do you really want to cover this, or can we skip ahead and we'll worry about the Bash at Berlin on our next episode?
Well, I'll tell you this, though. Just the repercussions from SummerSlam, I'll tell you this. The return of Odyssey Jones helping out the New Day.
Okay.
That's been a good plus. What do they call them? The Terrible Two?
The Terror Twins.
Terror Twins. I like that. And a lot of people saw that coming. I thought that was very impressive now.
I almost thought they were going to just call them, it's the OG Judgment Day. Huh? Fuck you. It's been a while since we've been recording. But no, the OG Judgment Day versus the Street Trash Judgment Day.
Yes.
The knockoff.
No, because even
Judgment Day from Etsy.
No, Finn Balor's actually okayed with the name Street Trash. There's merchandise that's being worked on that's Judgment Day Street Trash. So at least he's got a good sense of humor about things.
The best merchandise right now is the OTC shirts that have come out.
The original Tribal Chief?
Yeah.
Or one Tribal Chief?
One Tribal Chief.
They haven't said
only
what
Tribal Chief.
Yeah. Tribal Chief?
Tribal Chief.
Only Tribal Chief.
Tribal Chief.
And, I mean, the way it looks, they're saying that's going to lead into War Games. How?
Well, we're going to have to figure... WWE's going to have to figure out their own stuff because, I mean, they just recently, while we've been gone, you figure we lost both of the Wild Samoans.
Yes.
So now Afa and Sika are reunited in the afterlife. So, and the Ulafala that was given to Roman Reigns, that actually has more meaning because it was given to him from Afa and Sika.
Yep.
So it'll...
The senior right now, if you look at it, there's two senior Polynesians right now, if you use it that way.
Yep.
Is Haku and the Tonga Kid, the original Islanders.
Yeah.
And then the third in line is Rikishi.
Yep. Well, we're going to see how everything plays out, and we'll cover WWE more with Berlin, actually Bash in Berlin.
But I will say this with Bash in Berlin, I don't know why. I need some more meat to that and everything.
Well, that's the thing. It's, we still have another week. They're going to add more stuff to the card, so we'll see how that one all plays out.
How do you like the Wyatt 6-6 so far?
I'm enjoying what they're doing. They're finding like a good balance between the creepy and the actual like story, and them coming after the newly formed American Made. It just works.
Yes.
American Made. I keep thinking of the Tick.
Yeah, listen.
It's American Made.
Yeah, listen. I'm glad we've got another American faction in WWE because Hulkamania is dead.
Yeah. Have you heard who debuted last week or maybe this week for AEW?
Nope.
The Dynamite Kid.
Oh yeah, his son.
Tom Billings' son.
Of course.
And he Collision.
Yep. And he's actually using the moniker the Dynamite Kid.
Okay. So he's the Dynamite Kid too.
Yeah.
So now I want to just cover one little like anime recommendation, because when we're recording this week, the Kengan Ashura Season 2 Part 2 just dropped on Netflix. So I actually finished watching it. I did not want to stop watching. I have to recommend this. Anybody who's looking for a good fighting anime where it's a tournament where they're using actual styles. The animation style kind of gets it was a little jarring for me at first, but between seasons 1, 2, I highly recommend Kengan Ashura. It's definitely really good. It's something that'll definitely motivate you to like want to exercise and like get yourself in shape, because you see the way these guys are and they're giving you height, weight, and the fights. It was impeccably done. So it came out on Netflix. So there are 2 full seasons of Kengan Ashura available on Netflix. So with that one being said, since I kept that one nice and short and sweet, I'm going to do our movie discussion first. And we decided on a simple movie, something that was going to be kind of fun. And we think we'll stick with Amazon for this week. So we're going to go and we're going to discuss Jackpot.
Yes.
Which, by the look on Mike's face, he has no jackpot to spare. So, I'm going to start this off with Jimmy. Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of your impressions of the movie Jackpot, starring Awkwafina, John Cena, and Sam Liu.
Sam Liu, and also one special guest of Sean William Scott.
Yep.
I thought the way the movie started, they give you the introductions. I thought it was hysterical. How everybody's chasing this one guy. It reminded me of The Bachelor with who was it? Chris. He played Robin. Chris
Evan. Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell.
Oh yeah.
And everything, and even but it was hysterical, and everything, all because you had to stay alive for this ticket, and it's better than being Willy Wonka with this golden ticket, because everybody and their grandmother comes after you. But they can't come after you with a gun.
Yeah, that one rule.
Yeah, you can't.
No guns. It has to be something like no projectile guns. So they have like almost like what looks like a drill gun with a spike that comes out.
It's a drill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the spike actually ejects out.
Well, that's a projectile. That person should be disqualified.
No, because it never leaves the actual. It retracts right back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So think of like a hole punch.
Yeah.
A 2-inch deep hole punch.
That'll happen.
Yeah. So yeah, no, but
Murray Hill is funny in the role as the Jackpot owner.
Yeah, the entire concept was a great concept of that the government has basically gone bankrupt in 2026, and California's way of combating like people needing money was basically we do a jackpot lottery and you use your fingerprint to ID the ticket. They pick somebody, but you got to stay alive till sundown. And if somebody kills you before sundown, they get the jackpot
ticket,
immediately. So they have a drone that follows you and will notify you of your location. John Cena is playing a guy who is basically a contract high. How would you phrase that? Like what the job
He's a
is?
protector.
Okay, yeah.
Jackpot protector.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's willing to protect you for the jackpot for a 10% cut of the jackpot. Awkwafina, coming to California after not being there for a while, comes in, has no idea about what's going on, and she's just caught right in the middle of this. And it's really fun to see Shang-Chi taking on Peacemaker.
Which could be a movie in and of itself.
Which they are confirmed that Shang-Chi 2 is, I believe, getting ready to start getting
I
filmed.
thought you were going to say Shang-Chi is going to fight the Peacemaker.
No, they pretty much did in this movie. But no, having Awkwafina and Sam Liu, since they were both in Shang-Chi, it's like with John Cena. And the first thing you see with John Cena is him working on like some weapons. So it's like he's putting together like a wasp gun, and he's listening to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles music.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm talking the movie soundtrack.
Yes, which is awesome.
Yeah, you hear them doing, what is it, turtle power?
TURTLE
Yep.
power. TUR.
It was such you had the nostalgia there. It felt good. It was fun.
He kept quoting them how many times?
Oh yeah. Especially him talking to Aquafina and being like, you can be your own inner Ninja Turtle. And she's like, can I be Michelangelo? He's like, I'm always Michelangelo. So it's one.
We know he ain't Donatello. That's
Oh
for
no.
sure.
No, but it's one of those things where it's like you see something like that, and it's so much fun. It really is stupid fun. Turn your
Right.
brain off. I can't give it like a high value, but I would definitely put it as it's not a can't miss, but it's definitely a movie that you should see.
Watch, yeah. It's a good. It's a good Saturday afternoon movie.
Oh yeah. Saturday afternoon or like a nice Saturday night movie.
Right.
You know, it's something you can almost watch with the kids if
Yeah.
the kids are teenagers.
Right. It's a teenager movie.
Yeah. But the nostalgia alone of hearing the Ninja Turtles music, and they have like a ton of like end credit stuff. So,
Which is like,
Yes.
now, do you like the end credits scene now?
well, no, this
Always come to
is
expect
like
it?
during the credits. So it's like you're seeing like a bunch of scenery and everything and things that they're doing during the credits with the Jackpot.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like when you were watching like an old Jackie Chan movie, you know, like if you watched Rush Hour,
Yeah.
and during the credits
They
you got
have
all the
all the bloopers,
outtakes.
right.
So it wasn't bloopers, but
It was like what they were doing after they won.
yeah.
Okay.
So a bunch of like things. I liked it. I enjoyed it. You know what? Nowadays, it's almost expected you're going to see something through the credits.
Right.
It's like when you go to the movies and you don't stay for the credits.
You're missing out.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Here's one for you. Do you know who one of the first movies that did an end credit scene?
let's see. I know Masters of the Universe was one, but there was one before it.
I won after it.
I think, no, there was one before. I just don't remember the title of the movie.
I don't know, but before it, but after it was Lethal Weapon 2. Because remember in the beginning?
Yep. Oh, no.
They rolled up to the beat.
Yeah, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It was
Yes.
the first one where at the very
Yeah,
end.
yeah, and he
it's
goes, what are you still doing
Still
here?
here?
Go home.
Yeah.
It's over.
Well, that kind of led into the end scene of Deadpool. Oh, next one, we're
Well-
going to have cable.
Well, that's why he did that,
Yeah.
because it was a nice little like, ooh.
But Lethal Weapon 2, in the beginning, they roll up to the building and it blows up. At the end, they roll up to another building. Just as they're about to get out of the car, it blows up. And you hear the two of them, get back in the car, get back in the car. Driving away, the scene goes black. They go, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, there are like end credit sequences can be fun. They can,
Serve a purpose.
or they can just basically waste your time.
Yeah.
Or they're not even there, and now
you
we're so
waste your
used
time.
to it, and you just literally watched all the credits.
I was watching a movie and everybody was like, oh, you know, we've got to stay for the end credits, see if there's a scene afterwards. The people came and started cleaning it and they started yelling, there's no end credits, get the fuck out.
Yeah. You know, if it's a comic book movie or a certain kind of movie, you can almost expect it, but not.
Scary movie was funny. It gave you all these recipes, and then it's like, if you stood in here and watched these, you are dumb. I think it was that or Aces.
Well, it was the Scary Movie franchise wasn't good. The first two were
first two were
funny,
okay.
Yes.
and then it just went off the
Yes.
rails.
Yeah, too much and
They also once you couldn't get back both Wayne's brothers,
Yeah.
you knew you have a problem. When you can get Marlon, but you can't get Sean, you know there's
you mean SW1?
yeah. Hey, listen, they were actually both Sean and Marlon
Yeah, they were both
the DJs
Yeah.
at different times.
Yep.
Because when Sean eventually came on to In Living Color, Marlon
took
ended
over.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that. Now, I want to talk about a show that came out while we were on hiatus, and that would be Batman the Caped Crusader. Now, it was listed as Kevin Conroy's last project. I could not see him. I didn't see his name, like the credits. He wasn't voicing Batman.
No. That's
That was
Hamish
Hamish
Linklater.
Yeah.
Which
So,
is an interesting choice.
and he didn't do a bad job.
No, he
No.
didn't. I mean, when you see Hamish Linklater, you don't think Batman.
No.
No, but then again, you're also, if you looked at Kevin Conroy, you didn't think he was Batman.
That is true, too.
Until he opened up his mouth.
Right.
Although, who was it that did Superman for Superman, the animated series?
Chris Saley.
Yeah. He looked like Clark Kent.
He does.
That's the one weird thing. He looks like he could be a Clark Kent. The glasses, everything, you're like...
Well, Phil Lamar.
When
he does Jon Stewart. You think if you don't know what Phil Lamar looks like, you're thinking somebody built like Bobby Lashley, and then you see him, you're like, what?
No, the real funny part is when you look at Phil Lamar and you realize he's doing scenes by himself where he is Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, and Static Shock.
Yeah.
So he's Virgil as well.
Yeah.
So
he's sitting there talking to himself.
Yeah. The dream job.
Yes.
But yeah, no. So, what did you think of Batman the Caped Crusader? Because I have some thoughts that I listened to Panda Red from TikTok, and the Red Panda, he basically went and made a good point, and he did a comparison. He said when you take 3 series, you take Batman the Animated Series, Batman the Brave and the Bold, and Batman the Caped Crusader, they're each a different timeline for Batman. It's a different age. Batman the Animated Series was modern day, kind of like that timeless, set everything up because it came after the Tim Burton movie.
Right.
So, and it was only like a year or two after, what was it, a year after Tim Returns?
Returns came out in 90, I believe.
Yeah, so it was like a year after.
Yeah, like 93? 92,
92, I believe. So that one kind of like updated and was more current day Batman style. And it also set the tone because it changed like the origin of Mr. Freeze. They gave us characters like Harley Quinn who were created specifically for that show and then became staples in the comic universe. Then you take Batman Brave and the Bold. And now I'm giving Panda Red like all the credit for this because he's the one that I'm literally like quoting on it. And then you look at Batman the Brave and the Bold. They took the Silver Age when things were a little goofy and ridiculous. And but they kept it kind of like, they didn't use all the older characters, but it was Batman teaming up with different heroes.
A little more tongue in cheek.
Yeah, you had Plastic Man, you had Guy Gardner, but they used Jaime Reyes for the Blue Beetle. You had Booster Gold as part of the team up. So, it was one of those things where it was the sillier thing. Now you go and you take a look at Batman the Caped Crusader. It's the golden age because it's him fighting street level. He's not fighting super villains. He's literally taking on mobsters and corrupt cops. He's not going, and it's not Batman out there like fighting the Joker and like fighting like Two-Face, even though Two-Face does come into it, but he's still more street level. It wasn't like the maniacal like Two-Face where it's like, oh, he's got this grand plan. No, this is like his mind is just snapping after getting the acid thrown in his face. So it's one of those things where it was very street level, very like back in the golden age, which nobody really ever touches because that was when Batman was actually like brutal.
Yeah.
Like he had no problem killing people back in the golden age.
Well, when Batman first came out in the comic books, not a lot of people realized
he killed people.
He had a gun on him.
Yeah.
He used a gun.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So because Batman's characters changed over years, you have 3 separate series. My only one little gripe that I had was the very first episode. And I don't know if you're going to be able to understand what I'm saying with this one.
Go.
But the Penguin. It was a woman.
Yeah.
You made the Penguin a woman. And her henchmen were her 2 sons. It was one of those things where I didn't understand why they did it.
I don't get that. I mean, that's what I saw. If you can give me a reason why.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, just don't do stuff for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, this is the time they got to make this. No,
they
give me a reason.
No, that's the thing though. There was no reason, no nothing. That was just how they projected the character, and it's the first episode, and it was just one of those things where they did the Catwoman episode very well because it was like she was inspired by Batman because she was kind of a thief but also an elite.
And you look at the costume,
Yeah.
it's more, what was it, Golden Age?
Oh, it was Golden
cape
Age.
and
She had the
green
cape,
and
but
the
she had the
purple.
slit dress
Right.
and everything. So it really was like Golden Age. So, you know, there are other Batman series, they do a different job.
Yeah.
But those 3 series, but I have to say I did enjoy Batman the Caped Crusader. It was just one of those things where it was like getting used to the fact that you weren't going to see any of the craziness. There was no silliness really of like the Brave and the Bold. You didn't have like any of like the over the top like a Mr. Freeze. You really just went like they had kind of Firefly, but it was more Firebug, and it was just a guy committing arson.
Well, I'm looking forward to Onomatopoeia. No, really, I am.
Yeah, well, not in this one, not in this show.
No, he's coming up. He's
Yeah, but not in
not in the first episode. No,
not in the season.
But he's showing up.
And it's only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
So for a 10 episode series, I highly recommend it. I mean, it really is ground level. So, I mean, we can see stuff that they're talking about, but at the same time, I mean, Onomatopoeia was a more newer character, but we'll see how they do something like that. But for the most part, I mean, they kind of ended it off with the Joker, like, being hinted at, but they gave Harley Quinn a new outfit. She didn't have the Joker. She was basically a psychiatrist that she's changing and, like, punishing these rich assholes.
Yep.
And I gotta say, I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the costume as much, but at the same time, you know, it was the way the look and the time frame is for this. So I can understand.
It fits the time frame.
It fits the time frame, and especially because you didn't have the Joker.
Right.
So, you know.
They want to bring you in to a new, because it was Reeves, J.J. Abrams, and Bruce Timm.
Yep.
The 3 good minds. I'm shocked they brought in J.J. Abrams. I mean, they also had Ed Brubaker.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
They had a good team behind it.
Very good team. The thing is this, in what I seen, you said it right with the mobs and everything. So that's Reeves with the Batman. I seen how the animation is. I seen the animated series.
Yep.
I also how some of the plot was. I seen not just the plot wise, not how the characters were, the Batman in a way, and because they were going after him. And I'll tell you this: if you watch 1 to 10, if you do not watch, you skip an episode, you're like, wait a minute, why did this happen? Oh, I gotta go back, because continuity in this from 1 to 10 was amazing, because they kept up to par, and everything, and then how it's with Two-Face, with
even the relationship with Alfred changed throughout the series.
Yes.
He always referred to him as Pennyworth until the final episode when he starts kind of lightening up and he calls him Alfred.
And what impressed me is that everybody thinks that the White Knight is Harvey Dent. No, I gotta say the White Knight in this was Barbara more.
Yeah, Barbara played more of a role in this, and her being a lawyer, not being like Batgirl.
Right.
It's like they did such a great job like expanding and giving her a little more. The cast was so good with what they did.
And they linked everybody, like Barbara and Harley Quinzel linking together and everything, because she needed her to do
she needed a psychological evaluation.
Right.
So, and you know, Renee Montoya is working with her father, Jim Gordon. So you got the two of them together, and Renee kind of goes even out on a date with Harley.
And looking at Flask and Bullock, and of course they were total assholes in animated series.
Oh yeah, but Bullock wasn't as
asshole.
bad in. Yeah. He was a dick, but he wasn't as bad. This one, he was just like the muscle.
Yeah.
For what was it? Who was the other? Flask. Yeah. Which he wasn't really in the animated series at all.
No.
I kind of got the vibe of like Batman Begins with this one.
It was a little bit,
Like a
but
little bit of an origin story.
I would say it was more like Batman Year 2 almost.
Okay,
where it's like you've already gotten
He's established, but now we see him.
There is the Batman out there. They know there's a vigilante. Only now this time around, they're deciding. The mayor's like, now we want you to like start up a task force and find this guy.
And did you notice who Bruce Wayne's lawyer was? It was Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
Which everybody's like, oh, Lucius Fox is the CEO of Wayne Nation. Well,
they've had Lucius Fox play a lot of different roles.
Yeah.
He's been the scientific guy. He's always been one of these guys that kind of knows Batman's secret. He's also been like the guy helping to hide the money for Wayne Enterprises. So it was like it was a good thing. The only one episode that they really went like a little goofy was when they finally were like, oh, we're gonna have Gentleman Ghost.
Yeah.
So they bring in Gentleman Ghost. That's where it was like, and he has to realize like, oh, there are ghosts and supernatural things out there. But otherwise, they kept it really grounded in a like firmer sense of reality.
From start to finish.
Yeah. That one, I have to give that one, like, that one's a must watch. And if you're a Batman fan, it's definitely a must see. 10 episodes, they're like a half hour each.
Yeah.
You know, my only issue was, like, I was trying to see, like, the credits. And unfortunately, Netflix moved very quick, Amazon very quickly with their credits, jumping to the next episode.
You have to press show credits.
Yeah. And that was the thing. It's like, sometimes you're watching, but you're also like you're not sitting there with the remote in your hand,
right?
Unless you're planning on stopping. So it's definitely up there. Now I want to take us to our last topic because we all need to discuss Deadpool and Wolverine. There's no way we're not discussing this one as our return episode. So with Deadpool and Wolverine, I saw it in the theaters, spent like $20 just on a goddamn ticket for like the first showing of the day. Now, that to me is just expensive enough that it makes me not want to go to the movies, but Deadpool and Wolverine was the thing that would get me there.
There are certain films you need to experience in the film.
Batman, you mean in the theater?
In the theater.
Oh, yeah, you want to make fun of me.
Yeah, I did make fun of you.
Dick.
Shut up. Batman films you need to experience in the theater.
Not all of them.
Some of them. Most, no, you do.
Okay,
You do.
did you need to experience Batman v Superman in the theater? You really didn't. It wasn't worth it.
Well, you didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. When you started seeing the runtime, you start thinking.
I'm talking about Batman
and then you
films.
look at the extended
I'm not talking
edition.
about. I'm not talking about Batman views. I'm talking about straight Batman films. Need to be experienced in the theater at least one time.
Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, no.
Okay, with certain exceptions, but anyway.
You're right.
Anyway, there are certain ones you need to experience in the theater. The Avengers films, and this is one of them.
Yeah, anything that you know is going to basically be spoiled on the internet within the first 24 hours of it going to the theater. Yeah, you have no choice. You have to see it in the theater within the first 2 to 3 days because you have to stay off the internet because no one knows how to not do spoilers. We waited. We weren't here when it was released, so we've given it more than
enough time.
We've given it at least. It's been at least a month.
Yep.
So when this is coming out, you'll have had a month to have sat and digested. If you haven't seen it, then
Get out from the rock you're hiding under.
and you might want to. You could pause the episode, go to the movie theater, go see it, and then come back and you can listen to the rest of what we got to say.
Yep.
Because we are going to go heavy spoilers into this. If you don't want to know, pause it, come back after you see the movie. And we're going to say right now, you need to see it in the theaters because we're going into spoiler territory. So now, we're not going to go run down each and every like moment in the movie, but the opening sequence alone.
Yes.
Now, come on, like every opening sequence for Deadpool movies has been great. The fact that they kind of almost foretold this in advance, where Deadpool 2, he talks to Celine Dion, and it was like, yeah, I should have got In Sync, and now he gets In
Now he gets
Sync.
In
Do you know now on iMusic, it lists Bye 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 as in Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh yeah, and it's also kind of the same thing with
Like a Prayer.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They went and asked her and showed her the movie.
yeah,
To get permission.
Yeah, they had to get permission. Madonna is extremely protective of her music,
Yep.
and licensing it out. So I can completely understand. Now, I mean, but Deadpool using Logan's corpse
Which was
as weapons.
tying the bones to his arms. And
Like,
just
yeah,
going
having the
nuts.
bone claws, throwing the fingers as if they were darts. It was brilliant.
And
The way it was done.
It was every bit of what you would expect.
Yep.
the choreography and the fight scene blended together.
Yeah, the guy that was in the suit, because
What a
we know
damn
it wasn't
scene.
Ryan Reynolds.
No, not at all.
He did such a phenomenal job of hitting all of those movements. It's become the trends online is now the Deadpool and Wolverine stuff. Marvel finally gave us the scratch to that itch we've been waiting for.
Oh.
And I mean, like, not for nothing, like, Mike, what was your like favorite part of the movie? I know it's hard to narrow it down, but you got to pick at least one.
At least one. I gotta say, when he's seeing all the variants of Wolverine, and we have Weapon X from the Age
Yep.
of Apocalypse, we have Patch, we have the size accurate Wolverine where he's like 4 feet tall.
Yep.
We have the brown suit, like, oh, you fight the Hulk, holy shit!
And the Hulk is
And the Hulk right behind him. You have Jesus, Wolverine Jesus.
well, that's a famous cover.
Yeah.
Every one of the so-called religious nuts that were sitting there bitching and complaining that, oh, you know, we want, it's like, no, they're making fun of God because he's calling himself Marvel Jesus, and then you have him on the cross. It's not a cross. It's an X for X-Men, and it was a famous comic cover.
Yes.
If you walked into a Deadpool movie and thought that this was going to be
Serious?
in any shape, way, or form,
You're stupid.
you should not be
Knuckleheads.
going to the theater. You need to be going to see a shrink.
I like the Cavalrine.
Oh,
Did you
Cavalrine.
Did you notice the move that he did, that he took from Mission Impossible 5? When he was in Mission
Well, he's
Impossible?
been doing that for a while, though.
But
Hit the
reload-
lock and load.
The reload and his claws
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah, lock and load.
Like,
Like,
he like just did it. And the claws came out and he punched them.
Oh, yeah.
We'll treat you so much better than shit stains down the street. And he actually said that Cavill got sick from the cigar smoke.
not surprising.
He goes, he got like, his stomach was like in just throwing up like the entire next day, he said.
Oh yeah. You know, it's a shame, but you know what? You can tell someone's not a smoker.
Yeah.
And cigars are a whole different ball game.
The smoke is just so heavy.
Yeah. I'm glad that smoking's kind of like moving away and people aren't focusing on
Yeah.
smoking anymore because one, it's an expensive habit, but two, it's like it gets in everything.
Yep.
And it really makes everyone else around you sick, even though you don't think it's fine. It's like, it's all fine. No, it's not. But, you know, as a society, we moved away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, what about you? Gotta give one favorite part.
Fighting all the Deadpools, and then afterwards finding out who the Deadpools
were.
which is hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
McConaughey is the cowboy.
Yeah.
His wife,
Nathan Fillion was Headpool.
His wife was Lady Deadpool.
Yep.
His
The
daughter was
Kidpool.
Kidpool, and then their baby was
Baby Pool. So he put a lot of people in the cameos and stuff. So I mean,
That dog was actually priceless.
see,
Yeah.
for me though, like my
But-
absolute favorite sequence though, I have to say, because it's so hard to pick any just one sequence out of there.
agree. Yeah.
Because there's so many good ones. But it's the two of them fight, like when they're everybody's coming out of the car and you get Wolverine coming out of the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
When you're seeing all the former Fox characters like actually coming out. Jennifer Garner as Elektra. They actually got Wesley Snipes back as Blade.
Was the shock.
I'm hoping seeing Channing Tatum as Gambit will give them the push to make his own film.
Hell no, please don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't like it?
I was like, I'm glad he finally got to do it.
Yes.
But no.
You don't think he'll be a good Gambit?
No, I would have actually preferred the other guy from
Taylor Kitsch? Really?
Yeah, the one from
Origins.
Origins.
Why?
He had more of like the look. He looked too bulky. Channing Tatum did not look like
Well,
he was.
in that suit, I'm not talking about the way he looked in his suit.
No. Even the way he was portraying the character, it's like he may actually be able to speak with a kind of a Cajun accent, but at the same time, it was so ridiculous.
But that was the point.
But
And
it was
because you're in a Deadpool movie, you're supposed to be ridiculous.
But if you want a shot at playing a character seriously, that level of ridiculousness, the costume looked
comic
like
accurate.
It was comic accurate, but he was too big and bulky for it. That's the thing. When you get somebody who's a little leaner, Gambit is a character that he's supposed to be very agile. That's why, if you notice, every representation of Gambit, he has the staff. He's using it. He's jumping over things. He's supposed to be part of the Thieves Guild. So if he's supposed to be like the king of the Thieves Guild, you're not seeing that out of Channing Tatum.
You never know.
He's too thick. That would go and be... You want Magic Mike playing Gambit. Really?
I liked him. Yes. I would not have a problem having Magic Mike be Gambit.
And this is where we differ, because I was glad he finally got a chance to do it.
Thank you.
But
I agree.
Because he's been trying to do it, but you're not going to get a Gambit movie off the ground on your own. Gambit's not a character that you can just separate. Even when they first introduced Gambit, Gambit was first coming out in the comics at the same time as the original X-Men the Animated Series.
Yeah.
They had no problem just throwing him into X-Men the Animated Series, and it worked. And he needs to be part of the team. Getting his origin story, he's had the separate comics, but he needs to be part of a team. Gambit on his own, you're not going to tell a great story. You're basically going to be doing a horrible Venom movie, which isn't saying much.
No, but I still like the sarcasm that Wesley Snipes said about the Blade.
Oh yeah, I'm the
get another movie.
Yeah, it's like, and that's the thing. He also made the reference of he's the only Blade.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, the whole thing with
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, Mahershala Ali.
He wasn't a bad Blade in the show.
Well, but the thing is, they haven't been able to get the movie going.
Right.
That's things going through developmental hell.
The last thing about the show was about the movie was it's supposed to be Blade, and he doesn't show up until the third act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to fix it, but at the same time, they've already changed multiple directors, multiple writers. When you're going through that kind of hell in the developmental process,
it's better to walk away and cut your ties and your losses.
It's like start over from scratch.
Yes.
This is not the way to go. So, I mean, but outside of that, I mean, I enjoyed Channing Tatum's version of Gambit, but I didn't see him as Gambit. I will say, though, it was cool to see everybody together, X-23 back, having all of them, but then thinking like Wolverine wasn't going to be riding with them, and then all of a sudden he comes popping out of the trunk. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you figure, they didn't even get back the original Juggernaut, and they didn't get back, Ray Parks didn't even come back.
Yeah.
They had his version of Toad, but he didn't come back. I gotta say they did.
Call Jones, Vinny
Jones didn't come back.
Yeah, no,
that wasn't Vinny Jones.
He said it's like you couldn't move in that costume. I'm like, what costume? It was mostly a helmet and it looked like you were wearing a harness. You weren't really wearing a costume.
The guy in Deadpool 2 looked a hell of a lot better than that.
Oh yeah.
You mean the CG version of Ryan Reynolds?
Well, because it was Ryan Reynolds doing the voice of Juggernaut,
and that was all CG,
it was all CG. Which the only like one minor regret that I had for Deadpool and Wolverine was we didn't have like one moment with Cable.
Yes.
It's like it would have been fun just to see Cable there, or even if they would have been able to get the kid back. Because you figure they didn't. What was it? I don't even think they got Domino back.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
No.
You couldn't get Domino. Like seriously, I think they could have got Zazie Beetz if they would have tried. I mean, she did a phenomenal job.
She was a great job.
And I mean, even now, like she went off. She did Joker for the first Joker movie. Now she's been doing the voice work on Invincible.
Wasn't she also in the Marvels? Didn't she play Monica Rambeau?
No, that's not Zazie Beetz.
Wow.
So, but that's the thing. It's, they kind of opened everything up. I got to say, though, the post-credit sequence was absolutely hilarious.
Something unpredictable. It was.
Oh, I'm not talking about the credit sequence. I mean the post-credit, because they made the lights in the theater came up, making you think there's nothing there. And then, but you stay and you watch it, and it's Chris Evans got what he wanted. He wanted to be a version of Johnny Storm, and he wanted to have the most cursing in a Marvel movie, and he did it. He went from being Captain America with language to, wow, listen to that slew of obscenities.
He even said, he goes, this is probably the only time I get to curse this much on film. He goes, I memorized that monologue.
Oh,
like nobody's business.
And the fact that Deadpool even says all of this stuff, you're thinking Deadpool was the one that got him killed.
Right.
And it's like, no, he literally said everything that was there. He was literally...
Let's show the tape.
It's like, I was quoting him. That's where we had some great moments there. Mm-hmm. So I think we can all be agreed that Deadpool and Wolverine is a must-see.
Yes.
When that comes out on Blu-ray, it's a must-buy.
Must-buy.
Yes.
I like
one of the things... My wife even wants to watch it soon as she gets it, pop it right into the Blu-ray player.
One of the things I like, they dropped so many... Oh, this person's showing up and this person's showing up. So you didn't know who was showing.
Yeah.
At one point they said you're going to have Taylor Swift as Dazzler show
Which
up.
Would have been kind of cool.
Cool. And I was like, okay, I can see that. But then when they said Lady Deadpool, I'm like, if she's not Dazzler, she's Lady Deadpool. But that's not being blamed.
I love the fact that they had Nice Pool.
Which was hysterical.
And he's
literally generating Paradise. I guess he doesn't have it.
But wait, did you notice that he even heckled Wrexham?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, what is it? The guy from Wrexham was one of the variants.
Yeah.
So
he
that's
heckled it.
Yeah. Listen, you're gonna do whatever he had to do. That's the thing about Ryan Reynolds. He has a great comic sense. Mm-hmm. So there's been a lot of crap going around about him and his wife at this point, that they're not as nice as they claim to be. Blake Lively screwed up with her little movie thing, but I like that new movie that came out. It actually, I'm going to say this because just to save us on YouTube or the TikToks if this becomes a clip, but in the DV, because can't say what it actually is, otherwise you get suppressed. But the movie is about DV. Okay. So when you have something going on like that, and no, I don't mean double vaginal. It's basically, though, they're not promoting it. They promoted it as like, hey, get the girls together and go out and see a fun girl movie.
And the screwed up thing is, she beat him for a week.
Oh yeah, listen,
she beat him.
Listen, the thing is though,
it's a chick flick.
I don't know what the controversy is about them. I'm not friends with them, so I can't really say anything about this situation.
That's like you heard that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean the cars from the highway?
Cars from the highway. Yeah. But that's the bad thing about being in the spotlight all the time. You see these people, and then when do you see them? You see them when they're on TV.
Yeah.
And they're putting up, I'm such a great person. They're putting up the happy facade. No one's happy all the time. Maybe you caught the two of them after they just got into a fight.
Yeah.
Maybe you caught the two of them. Maybe they're just having a bad day, and that's when you happen to see these two, and you wrong place, wrong time, and then all of a sudden, we go from a happy, perfect couple to the assholes. No, I'm sorry. No one's happy all the time.
But you know what?
You have the right to be an asshole every now and then.
Listen, their personal lives and how they behave and people want to react to them is everyone's individual basis. I'm not going to be somebody to quote on that.
No.
Because as far as I'm concerned, nobody's perfect.
Not at all.
I mean, but you know what? Their relationship works because you figure Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez
getting divorced again.
Well, not again. Remember, he didn't marry her the first time. They were engaged. He married her. They were just as they get to their second wedding anniversary, she serves him with divorce papers.
Right, and then
now
I'm convinced she's like trying to go for beat Tom Brady on how many rings she has.
No, the only person she's got to beat is Yogi.
Yeah,
he's got 10 rings.
Yeah, but listen,
how many does Brady have?
7.
Maybe she's closing in on. She wants the number 1 spot.
Yeah. Well, listen. No matter how
you don't beat Brody. Don't beat Yogi.
No matter how it works, it all breaks down to it's like we're not going to quote on the celebrity gossip on that respect because that has nothing to do with us. We're talking about the entertainment side of the movies and everything.
Not their personal
you don't look
life.
like Harvey Levin. I don't look like him. Mike don't look like. Maybe Mike does. But, and we don't work for TMZ.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up. So, Mike, you want to give the socials and how anybody can get in touch with you?
All right, if you want to get in touch with me, you can follow me on Instagram at Hamster Pellet Productions. You want to follow me on the Facebook, you can do Mike Schiavo, that's my personal page, and you can follow me on Hamster Pellet Productions. If by some strange chance you want to follow the show, you can follow the show on Instagram at, let me see if I get this right, the Dragoons Lair podcast on the Instagram.
Anywhere else?
There's probably others, but
is there the Facebook group?
We still have the Facebook page up. I haven't been to it in a little while. I've been on vacation. But follow us on the Instagram. That's where you're most likely to find me. And on the Facebook. Do we have the Threads or the Twitch or the X? Or
if we have the Instagram one, then we have Threads. Okay. You would just have to update that.
Okay.
Now, Jimmy, what about you? How can everybody get in touch with you?
On Instagram and Threads, James H_the4th. Facebook, James Haynes the 4th. TikTok, James0925, where you can reach there. A friend of mine named Jamela who will give you a movie review in 50 seconds. And she's really right to the point.
So, unlike us, where we have an actual discussion.
Yeah, yes. We do the roundabout way.
Yeah.
So, and special shout out to Mike Schwarz. I promised you, Mr. Ahmed. Your 3rd book comes out September 18th, and everybody still wants to help his Kickstarter, like everybody's doing a Kickstarter nowadays. Go to his webpage and on Instagram, and he will guide you where you can get, not only on September 18th, Ahmed 3, you can get the next 3 books.
All right. And if anybody wants to get in touch with me, it's very simple. It's Blue Dragoon 13, and you can find me on Snapchat, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. You can find me on Threads. On the Twitch channel, you can go and get a link to the Discord group, and you can join our community there, expand on that so we can go and we can hopefully do some like community events and stuff on there. You can also go and make sure you listen to us on my channel, Blue Dragoon 13 on YouTube, but you can listen to the show on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts, or anywhere else where your podcasting platform needs can be met. And you can always get in touch with us if you want to send us an email at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. Now, with that being said, we're wrapping up our very first episode for season 3. I know, Mike, might want to change the digit there.
Or as he said it, say it.
Yep.
No, never mind.
Yeah. So we're not going to do our usual. We just want to say thank you for tuning in for season 3. Without you guys, we couldn't do this.
We'll
so
be 3 schmucks at a kitchen table talking to each other.
Yeah, pretty much. So we want to thank you all for tuning in and returning. Make sure you like, share, leave comments, subscribe to the channels. Leave us like a review on iTunes. all of that helps for other people to discover the show. I'm sure our time off has basically pushed us down in the algorithm, so we're going to be pushing hard to get back up to there so everyone can listen and join in on our conversations, because the way this all is we want you to feel like you're part of the conversation as if you were one of the friends. So you join us, and we hope
We'll
to
join you.
Not like that.
And remember, if you are a person that can design a t-shirt, a website, a bumper sticker, please, again, reach us at what website? Email?
Website, yep.
Take two.
We don't have a website. We're trying to get one of those, but we do need a graphic designer, and if we can find someone within a reasonable budget, if you would like to reach out to us because you want to be able to expand your work, please reach out to us at dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. That's Dragoons Lair Podcast. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. It's all one word, dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. So, Mike, thank you for returning.
Thank you for having
Jimmy,
me back.
thank you for returning. And I want to thank every one of you for being here with us. And we will see you all next time on the Dragoons Lair Podcast.
Bye.
Peace.
Later, dudes.